Hello. Okay, so I just figured that I would do this video real quick because I had a funny ass happening to me at my doctor's office. Y'all, let me show you the mother. Ooh, I'm trying not to cuss that much. My KT is really been a pain in my ass. So one of my scabs didn't fully scab up. I went to use the restroom. Pulled on the scab, honey. Look at this. Look at this. There is blood on my goddamn wall. But I had a doctor's appointment today. I had some blood work. You guys, I lost 23 pounds. I had changed my diets. Lost 23 pounds. I would say I lost 23 pounds in like the past 3-4 months, because at first, even though I changed my diet, I was still cheating too much. But I was like super faithful to the diet within the last 4 months. This is blood. Well, duh. So anyways, I had to get some blood work. I got a new primary care doctor. And I am super, super, super happy with him. If you guys are in the Toledo area and you want a primary care doctor that's just cool and understanding, very professional, does not overstep your damn boundaries, just let me know. And I'll let you know who he is. So anyways, because I've changed my diet, my sodium was a little low. It wasn't like crazy low, but it was really low. Well, not really low. It was a little low. And my cholesterol, and he said it was because I'm not getting enough nutrients, which I guess makes sense, because back when I was just eating whatever, I was just eating a whole bunch of junk and crap. And now I just pretty much eat the same things. And so I did some research, and like I need to eat like stuff on the list that I need to eat is stuff that I fucking cut out. So I don't know. I guess I'll just try to eat a little bit of that stuff like twice a week. But I'm really not trying to gain weight. I actually want to lose 20 more pounds. I don't look what I weigh. But I want to lose 20 more pounds and I'll be fine. So anyways. So when I was at my doctor's appointment today, and he was going through my blood work, the results. And so he's like, Joelle, I have to tell you, you're anemic. And I was like, yeah, I already told you I was anemic the first time, because it's only my second time seeing him. And I was like, yeah, the first time I saw you, I told you I was anemic. And so he was like, did you? And he was like, well, this is kind of crazy because your hemoglobin is at a 9. And I was like, what? I couldn't even believe it, because my hemoglobin's never been a 9. My normal is a 6-7. And I tell him that, and he was like, that's just crazy. And I was like, that's me. The only reason that my hemoglobin is at a 9 now is because my leg is bleeding less, even though today you wouldn't think so. Because the last surgery, even though I had my drama with it, it was a good thing and it worked, and it's decreased the bleeding probably about like 75%. So then I told him the story of what happened to me at that surgery, and he was like, you should write a book. And I was like, I should, because then I'd be rich, and maybe one day I will write a book. But right now, I'm going to tell it to you. So, I had surgery. I had emergency surgery. Yeah, this was my emergency surgery that I had, because they fucked up my one surgery. And if you go back in the videos, you'll see this is the surgery that I had that gave me that wound vac, because it was them fixing up their damn mistakes. So, I had surgery. So, my normal hemo is a 6. So, when you have surgery, or at least when I have surgery, I lose a lot of blood. And so, my shit dropped down to a 4. Well, I guess They didn't check my labs. Well, they couldn't have. So it dropped down to a 4. I had the surgery in the morning, the emergency surgery in the morning. I think it was like 11 o'clock. So midnight, this nurse comes running in at Cleveland Clinic. This nurse, the dog is so extra. This nurse was like super, super nice. She was one of those nurses that you can tell like really cares about people. She cares about all her patients. She just comes running in, and it was so crazy because I was actually scheduled to go home the next day. That night when I would have went to sleep, I was going home the next day. So they took out my IV because I have a hard time with IVs and stuff like that because Giselle! Because my veins reject them. Or they roll, or they burst. So they was like, okay, you're going home. And I kept asking them, like, can I just take this out? It was so uncomfortable. And they was like, all right, because you're not even on IV antibiotics. So fine, we'll take it out. So they took it out. So then 12 o'clock, she comes running in there, turns on all the lights, and she's like pulling my arm up. And I'm like, what the hell? Because I was asleep. And you know it's hard to get sleep in the hospital. And I was asleep. And she was like, your hemo is at a 4. Or whatever she said. I think she said a 4 or 5. Whatever the fuck she said. And I was like, okay. And she was like, do you know what that means? You can die. You need a blood transfusion. So I was like, okay. So this dog is so weird. So I was like, okay. So then she's doing all this stuff, trying to find a vein. The vein burst. My arm's bruised. The other ones roll. Then another person comes in. The other person gets it. It was so painful. I'm like, holding control of my emotions. In so much pain. She's still freaking out. So the blood bag is right here. Then the thing that hooks it to the IV, she's trying to hurry up and do it. She goes, plop, blood everywhere. I thought I was fucking Carrie from that show. I mean, from that movie, Carrie, where they were like messing with her about period blood, and then next thing you know, she's at the prom, and there's blood all over these motherfuckers. That's what I thought. So then I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, going the fuck off. And she's like, don't worry. At least we know it's clean blood. And I'm like, what the fuck? How do we know this? Blah, 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 blah. So then they ended up getting a new bag. She slowly puts it on. And I had a blood transfusion. All was well, obviously. It's years later and I'm still alive. But that was just a funny time. That was a funny. And she said that she had never popped a bag like that before. So I'm sure she went on to tell other people about this story. And it's hilarious as hell. And if she has a YouTube and she's telling other people about this story, she could tag me in it because I wouldn't even care. But that was so freaking... It was funny now that it's over, but it was crazy. And then my doctor didn't even believe me. And I was like, oh, I have a picture. And I showed him the picture. And he was like, when did you have time to take a picture with all this going on? I said, honey, the minute that she popped that bag, I know I was going to have to take a picture because if they try to fucking kill me in this bitch, I needed proof. So, yep, that was funny. And that was my funny story. I have a headache. I'm going to make a hot chocolate. I'm going to lay down. And I'm going to live my life. Bye.